Welcome to Zalengam Media. Most of us are lazy to study and read fully those articles which are very much important to us. Even then we do not have time to. I am Gary T. Kip here in Zalengam Media. Today I will share you details of territory of the Kukis. Written by George T. Kip. The Encyclopedia Britannica records Kuki as a name given to a group of tribes inhabiting both sides of the mountains dividing Assam and Bengal from Burma, south of Namtalik River, Britannica 1962. G. A. Grierson provides a general idea of the wingspan of the Kuki territory and the composition of its people. An excerpt of the general introduction of the chapter on Kuki-Chin group in the Linguistic Survey of India, Volume 3, Part 3, is reproduced as follows. Territory inhabited by the Kuki-Chin tribes extends from the Naga Hills in the north down into the Sandoe district of Burma in the south, from the Mayatha River in the east, almost to the Bay of Bengal in the west. It is almost entirely filled up by hills and mountain ridges, separated by deep valleys. A great chain of mountains suddenly rises from the plains of eastern Bengal, about 220 miles north of Calcutta, and stretches eastward in a broadening mass of spurs and ridges, called successively the Garo, Kasia and Naga Hills. The elevation of the highest points increases towards the east from about 3,000 feet in the Garo Hills to 8,000 and 9,000 in the region of Manipur. This chain merges, in the east, into the spurs which the Himalayas shoot out from the north of Assam towards the south. From here, a great mass of mountain ridges starts southwards, enclosing the alluvial valley of Manipur, and hence spreads out westward to the south of Sylhet. It then runs almost due north and south, with cross ridges of smaller elevation through the districts known as the Chin Hills, the Lushai Hills, Hiltipera, and the Chittagong Hill tracts. Farther south the mountainous region continues, through the Arakan Hill tracts, and the Arakan Yama, until it finally sinks into the sea at Cape Negrais, the total length of the range being some 700 miles. The greatest elevation is found to the north of Manipur. Thence, it gradually diminishes towards the south. Where the ridge enters the north of Arakan it again raises, with summits upwards of 8,000 feet high, and here a mass of spurs is thrown off in all directions. Towards the south the western offshoots diminish in length, leaving a tract of alluvial land between them and the sea, while in the north the eastern offshoots of the Arakan Yama run down to the banks of the Irrawaddy. This vast mountainous region, from the Jaintia and Naga Hills in the north, is the home of the Kuki-Chin tribes. We find them, besides, in the valley of Manipur, and, in small settlements, in the Kashar Plains and Sylhet. Kuki is an Assamese or Bengali term, applied to various hill tribes, such as the Lushis, Rankhols, Thodos, etc. It seemed to have been known at a comparatively early period. In the Rajmala, Shiva is stated to have fallen in love with a Kuki woman, and the Kukis are mentioned in connection with the Tipera Raja Chakag, who flourished about 1512 AD. Grierson G.A:1904 Vumson, a noted Kuki scholar who is well versed in the earlier accounts of the British writer, wrote on the territory of the Kukis as below. The land occupied by Kukis Chin-speaking people extends roughly from a latitude of about 25 degrees 30 minutes north to about 20 degrees and 30 minutes north and falls between 92 degrees 20 minutes east. The region at present covers different political areas: A. Assam, part of Kashar North Kashar Hills and Miko Hills; B. Meghalaya, part of the East Mizoram, stated, Nagaland, part of extreme south, Tripura, part of the East Manipur, state, except part of the Central Valley and extreme North G, Myanmar. The Chin State, large group including Tidim Phelim and Hako are to be found, and part of the Mag Division and Kabul Valley. H, Bangladesh, Sylhet District and Chittagong Hill Tracts. Bumson: 1986. According to Rolthanga, their land extends from 92°10' east and 94°20' east, which lies in the Indo-Burma Ranges. According to H. W. Cutter, they lived in a land where they moved freely, with the boundary beginning from Upper Chindwin in the east, Akyab Sea of Bengal in the south, Kuptai River in the west and 2 miles along the north of Imphal city. When much stronger nation attacked them, they migrated from different places at different times. The Kuki Chinmay nation had to fight through like the Israelites in their move to occupy the Promised Land, till they settled in the land occupied by them at present. This nation occupies a land roughly estimated to be 20,000 square miles, and a population of around 2 millions, comprising of different tribes, speaking almost the same dialect, slightly different in pronunciation and tune. This is a fact until today, and one can see for himself in the town of Churakanpur, Manipur, India. The people speak their own dialect and understand another language. They address themselves as Imi, which mean our people or us. They were once called nomads because they kept on moving from place to place, like the patriarchs, without proper settlement until the 19th century. Finally they settled down in the present land occupied by them, which was divided into 3 countries: India, Myanmar, Bangladesh, under the divide and rule policy of the British. In present-day context, the Kuki country covered by the movement ranges broadly from the Upper Chindwin, Burma, in the west, the hills in Manipur and Ain, Nagaland, in the east. The leadership was Chengjapao Downjal, king of Kuki, Bash Haukip, chief of Chesat, Tintong Haukip, commander-in-chief of Kuki army, Enjikup Kolu, deputy chief in command of Kuki army, and Kotanhang Sitlu alias Kilkhong, chief of Jampi. Kuki chiefs received tax and tributes from their various subjects in the regions stated above. The earliest Kuki offensive against the British colonialists date back to 1777, at the time of Warren Hastings was the Governor-General of India. The first incident of record was impelled by the colonialists' annexation of Hill Tipperah, Tripura, in 1761, whereupon the Kuki went on the offensive against the invaders. A. Mackenzie: 1884. Ellie described Great Kuki invasion of 1860s in Chittagong Hill Tracts as a culmination of previous raids beginning from 1845 to 1851. A. Mackenzie: 1978. The year 1860 saw the Great Invasion of Tipperah, Tripura, and in the following year a large body of police marched to the hills to punish and avenge. B. S. Carey and H. N. Tuck, 1976. In 1845, 1847 to 1848, 1849 to 1850, and 1850 to 1851 there were raids which Eri Altogether called the Great Kuki Invasion of 1860s. Abeli: 1978 reports were received in 1860 that at Chittagong, of the assembling of a body of 400 or 500 Kukis at the head of the River Feni, and soon the tale of burning villages and slaughtered men gave token of the work they had on hand. Before any intimation of there could reach them on 31st January, the Kukis, after sweeping down the course of the Feni, burst into plains of Tipperah at Shagulnia, plundered 15 villages, butchered 185 British subjects, and carried off about 100 captives. A. Mackenzie, opposite, 1885. A spirit of sovereignty pervades the history of the Kuki people. The territory inhabited by the Kukis people is known as Zalengam. P.S. Hokip: 1998, when Assam came under British rule following the conclusion of the Anglo-Burmese War in 1826. 1. Expeditions to extend British rule throughout the northeast were carried out by the Assam Rifles and the Assam Military Police. What followed was the Kuki Rising of 1917 to 1919, which served as a foundation of Kuki nationalism. In Zalengam, the Kuki nation, P.S. Hokip, Ibid, Hokip recounts details of the rising, which was painstakingly collected. The event is a reminder of the spirit of nationalism exercised by our forefather. They knew the land they occupied as Zalengam, which means a land of free flight. 2. They moved freely in their land with total freedom and without any trouble. They lived according to their customs and cultures, singing their own song and ate their own bread. It was their own country, governed by themselves. Later, when the British began to penetrate their land from the plains of Assam, every village fought against the British but could not last long and soon submitted to their enemy. However, their country was not yet conquered, as we can see in the word of Qatar. Why and how foolish of you all, your Israel land is not yet conquered land, it is your country. 3. On the other hand, the British armed some of the tribes, for which other tribes would attack those who were under British protection. 4. From the writing of Vumson and other scholars, it is clear that the native fought in their best to defend their land. The British moved in all directions and effectively infected with the weapon of divide and rule among the native who were already fighting among themselves. Communal hatred was deeply rooted in their hearts, which pulled down national integrity and ethnical oneness. 5. This infection remains uncured until today, though many attempts have been made. The people together, neither the latest name Zomi, cannot accept the name Kuki or Chin or Mizo. Now, though the same nation, there are 4 names with no total acceptance to either of these names by the people in unison. Within a short period another movement with another name, probably Manmasi or Chinlung, is likely to sprout up. References 1. Guardians of the Northeast, the Assam Rifles, 1835 to 2002, 2003, 11, first published in India by Directorate General Assam Rifles, Laitumkra, Shillong, 11, in association with Lancer Publishers and Distributors, New Delhi. Expeditions include Kuki operations of 1880 to 1882 and 1917 to 1919 apostrophe. 2. P.S. Hokip, Zalengam, the Kuki Nation, published by KNO, p. 35-3, Rolfhangasailo, Lewes Israel, 6. 4. Vumson, Zohistory, pages 109 to 113. 5. T. Gaugin, History of Zomi, p. 72. The writer is assistant professor at Agartala University and can be reached at kimpna@gmail.com.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.